for the last 12, 13 years been working on the rights of the minorities in 28 different countries, include Syria and Iraq. The reports a few years ago came of the kidnapping and raping of the Yazidi girls in Iraq. With me here today, one of the Yazidi heroes, Ms. Dalal Abdallah. Ms. Dalal Abdallah, she escaped out of Iraq many years ago during Saddam Hussein time. She has 5 sisters, lives in the region today. She has 1 brother that escaped from Singar mountain. Today, we are bringing this to your attention as there is a motion will be presented to the government to consider what's happened to the Yazidis and to the Christians and to the other minorities, include Muslim Shias, include even some of the Muslim Sunnis and the gay and the lesbians in Iraq as a genocide. Until now, Canada did not follow the lead of the United States, United Kingdom and EU recognizing what's happening to the minorities in Iraq as a genocide, which is, we are very concerned about that and it's very disturbing. Right now, I just want to introduce Ms. Dalal Abdallah to say a few words about her and her family and her community. Ms. Dalal Abdallah.
Thank you. My name is Dalal Abdallah. I'm from the Yazidi community. I am a Yazidi human activist. I have, like Majed said, I have 5 sisters and 1 brother currently in Iraq that ran for their life on August 3rd when ISIS attacked them. They are all over the place. They're scattered. I came to Canada and during the Gulf War, and we had to make split-second decisions, and this is why my siblings were left behind in Iraq. It's a very hard time. It's a difficult time for them, and they really, really need Canada to step up and to help them humanitarian aid, and I want Canada to finally make this a genocide, because the definition of genocide speaks Yazidi to me, and I want these girls that have been in the sex slave and raped endlessly to come, to give a better chance for them to come to Canada, to have that choice, and Canada's our only hope for those girls, and I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support.
One Free World International was able to rescue more than 300 to 400 Yazidi girls from ISIS territories, and we was able to present a proposal to the Canadian government in order to bring the 300 or 400 girls here to Canada to rescue them. We present this proposal to the previous government, we present this proposal to this government, and until now we never received a response back, which is a very sad news. It's very disturbing to me that Canada can bring 25,000 refugees, but none of them was from the minority community. I don't have any evidence that any of them was from the vulnerable communities such as the Yazidis or the Christians or the gay and lesbians or even the Muslim Shias. Canada can do better. I know that we can do better. We are a compassionate country. We are talking to a refugee himself. I used to be a refugee. I was tortured back home in Egypt, and I came here as a refugee, and now I live in the best and the greatest country in the world. In 1939, there was a ship by the name St. Louis ship, full of 900 Jews. They came here running away from the genocide and from the Holocaust. At this time, we had a Prime Minister, Mackenzie King, that refused this 900 refugees, and they were sent back, and most of them was killed. What's happening to the Yazidis is the second St. Louis ship. I hope that we will not repeat our mistakes again. I ask from the Canadian government, I ask from them, as the motion will be presented next week, to recognize what's happening to the minorities in Iraq as a genocide, that they will agree on this, and I pray and I hope that they will be able to rescue more of the Yazidi girls, to bring them here, to save their lives. I thank you for your time, and if you have any questions and answers, I'm willing to listen. Thank you.
I just wonder about your comment about the refugees that Canada's brought in. How isn't it the case that all of the refugees can be considered vulnerable in some fashion? Why shouldn't the government choose or select refugees based on ethnic or religious background?
I think that when we are looking at the situation in Iraq, we see that the minorities and the most vulnerable, they don't have a militias to protect them. So, for example, the Christians or the Yazidis or the gay and lesbian community or even the Muslim Baha'is or any of these communities, they don't have militias to protect them. They don't have a community to protect them per se. So that will make them most targeted. That will make them, because they are also believing in a different beliefs, that will make them more target. And we can see that with the Yazidi girls, for example, more than 7,000 Yazidi girls was kidnapped and was raped multiple times a day, was sold as a sex slaves. We can see that more than 5,000 Yazidi men was killed and massacred. We can see the same thing happening with many of the Christian communities, and many with the Christian leadership as well, and their churches, the destruction of what's happening to them. You can see that this is happening, which will make them the most vulnerable. I think when we're talking about bringing the refugees, we're trying to reach as many people as possible. Now, we don't have a clear evidence that 25 refugees that they came here, and which was a commitment from the Canadian government, that they will try to bring the most vulnerable, the most that in need. I didn't see a clear evidence that any of them was from the minority, that they need immediate protection. Keep in mind that also Iraq is surrounded by Arab Muslim countries such as Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar. All of these countries, they can take more and more refugees. And sadly, I don't see any of these countries doing anything to protect the refugees.
But you don't have evidence that they're from what you describe as vulnerable communities, but nor do you have evidence that they're not, correct? I mean, these were families who were in refugee camps that the government moved to bring over quickly, who had sponsorship and support here. Are you saying that was not the right move?
I am saying that I was hoping that the government, when they see a proposal of 500 Yazidi girls that have been raped multiple times, and they are in the Hook camps or in Kurdistan camps, I was hoping that they will be able to include them in this 25,000. I was hoping that the government will be more clear about the process, like who is the most vulnerable. They indicated that they are trying to rescue the most vulnerable. That was not my word. That was the word of the immigration minister and the Canadian government, that they are trying to rescue the most vulnerable. They are trying to help the most people that they are in need, immediate need. Can you please clear it to us? What process did you follow, and who did you bring, and how did you do it?
Did you have the kind of support for the 400 or 500 that you wanted to bring in, the girls who you say they should have brought in?
I didn't receive any response back. I met with the immigration.
But did you have outside community support to take those people
yes,
in?
Absolutely.
Identified homes and supports?
Absolutely, yes. We have a support from the Yazidi community themselves and the Christian community as well. When you look at the proposal that you have in your hand right now, you found two logos. One is from the Catholic Church and our organization. So our community is coming together. We are more than happy to receive these girls. We are more than to help. We are not asking favors from the Canadian government. We just need them to sign in a paper for us to act and to come together as Canadians, not just as a Yazidis, not just as a Christian, not just as a Muslims, not just as a Jews, as every Canadian, any Canadian, believe or doesn't believe in whatever religion, to come together to save these girls. It's a humanitarian situation, it's not a religious situation, in my opinion. Any more questions? Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.